Hey, good day, everyone. Whoever watches the first 15 minutes of Talal, just leave a comment. Every day I do a drawing among 10 of you. I'll get a level 3 Bit Unix VIP for them, which means you pay 40% less in fees. Just wanted to let you know. I also tested a prop that I got from Repto. I did all this, but honestly, you're all still lazy, even BitArith. Even the ones we look at in Bitcoin, I don't put more than 5 or 6 on your site. Right now, people are too lazy to even get up and grab a prop in this space. You're just throwing your money away. No, 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 you're not keeping a journal, you're not doing any of these things. Write it for me in the comments, if you're really not lazy, are you? Are you keeping a journal? Do you track your positions? Do you check them? Are you doing all this? Write it for me. I know 2,000 of you are doing it. You're doing this right now. I changed my mind. I'm really serious. I'm staying. Okay, let's get to our chart. I'll record a video for you too. I recorded a video for you on how to protect yourself from inflation in Iran, what to do so inflation doesn't ruin your life, no matter how much capital you have. I've already told you the solution, and I'll share the tutorials for you after this at the beginning of the videos. Look, you need to understand why this is the solution and not something else. I don't know exactly when my solution will be released because it doesn't have an infograph, so it might take a little while. Maybe it'll come out on Thursday. Maybe it'll be delayed until Sunday. Things like that can happen. Let's go to the chart for this year. This exact movement is the reason why we said that if we look at the 5-minute chart, if the candle is high, we will open a position and short it. Now, if I get hurt, I looked while I was getting my hands dirty. That's right, you ate between 92.570 and 92.820. We had such heavy orders that it would be thrown up with use. So it could have been close to a week on Telegram Geo. Exactly during these candles, it was either 1915 or this green one at 1950. Let me check exactly what time I wrote it down. 7:33. So this candle had just started. This green candle, I said make sure to take profit. There was definitely a signal coming from this green candle. Up to this coin. Now, I hope you still have these positions open, this short position. Now, we're going to talk about this topic again, that, well, right now we're at the low of the wave cycle. You don't know what the low of the wave cycle is? Make sure to watch the tutorial video I published for you 2 or 3 days ago. I'll pin the link for you in the comments. Guys, when they watch it now, they get really surprised. What do I have? I mean, they'll understand why we opened a short here, why we were following the line here. They'll get it, why we were watching for a short here. It all becomes clear to them very easily. Now here, there's a breakout, so we open a position. So basically, we have to come down from the top again to see if our high wave cycle and medium wave cycle are still involved in anything or not. Right now, nothing's happening. There are 18 days left. We're just passing through the weekly. There's 1 day and 18 hours left. If it closes like this, or if it closes with a bigger body, we'll go to test these lows once again on the daily chart. We might even test last week's lows a bit, just to see what happens to the market on Monday. Did that pressure ease up? And about that QE, let me put it simply. QE is when the US central bank helps banks have liquidity, because if they don't help, their banks can't function. When they help them stay alive by providing liquidity, it means liquidity is being injected into the market. And there are different ways to do this. One way, for example, is that they buy back bonds. Another way is printing money. Another is buying stocks. Another is giving out loans. There are 1,000 different methods. So for now, as I said, they're buying back $40 billion worth of bonds every month. It's not a huge amount when it comes to bonds, but it's a positive step to keep things going. Let's see on Monday or Tuesday how these actions will have an impact. So with just this one weekly move, let's not make any decisions just because they're trying to reach that target. Let's see what impact our news might have. And since on the monthly and weekly timeframes we don't see any effect yet, we're forced to look at the lower timeframes, like the daily. As long as it's above this 8,233, the start of this downtrend won't happen again. Basically, until this point where this psychological downtrend is supposed to start, which is at 8,240, where the break happened, and as for 8,400, that's a different story. For us, if we want to get ahead of things and say, okay, let's not take profits for now, let's wait and see what happens and try to catch a better major change. And then we get out of the low wave cycle, because the medium wave cycle is finishing its range. If this current medium wave cycle is in a consolidation phase and it breaks, then the medium wave cycle could turn bearish. It could then go into a downtrend. So at that point, we'll wait for confirmation in the low wave cycle. We don't rely too much on confirmation of the change. Well, as long as it hasn't dropped below this number, it's still reasonable to watch and follow the low wave cycle. What is this number? 829.354. Here we have a neutral zone area at the 829.744 level. Here we have another neutral zone area. What does a neutral zone area mean? It's a spot, a relatively strong buffer zone, where I can't assign a specific number to it. It's all based on experience. It's like this. If we're moving from top to bottom and you open a position at the upper line, you're more likely to get stopped out. If you go long and open a position at the lower line, there's a higher chance that a market whale will move the market and you won't even be able to get a position. Here, as a trader, you make your own choice, so you can figure out for yourself which approach suits your personality better. For me, I always prefer getting stopped out over missing a whale move. Why? Because on paper, if I get stopped out, I just lose one risk per trade. But if a whale move happens and I don't have a position, I could miss out on two risks worth of profit. So the risk of getting stopped out actually has a higher reward than missing the position because the minimum RRR in the setup is an RRR of 3. It makes more sense for me to open the position and get stopped out because I can get two more RRs in profit compared to when I don't open the position and don't get stopped out at all. This is one of those kinds of moves. In these time frames, in the 4-hour too, which we also talked about together. Yesterday, in all 4-hour time frames, it was late if you want to look at the market. Basically, in this 4-hour chart, it rarely makes candles. It just makes one big whale move, another whale move, another whale move. If we're lucky, it might give us one or two proper confirmation wicks, like here and here, if we're lucky. That's why we're forced to go down to these lower time frames to even look at it. In this space, right now, my high wave cycle is ranging. My mid wave cycle is also ranging. Only my low wave cycle is actually moving in these levels. So if this level, this top here, breaks, we can open a long position in the low wave cycle. We can open a long position. You just need to keep one important thing in mind. It's Sunday. And it's a low volume Saturday too, meaning it's not a very high volume Saturday. So positions. There's a chance for a fake out here and for them to take it the other way. Like you want to take it, but it could turn on you right now. If it gets rejected twice and comes down from here, if it tries to come back this way again, I'll open the rest here. But right now, if the candle closes above, I won't open. I'll wait for it to come down to here. Then on Sunday after the round, for example, we were dealing with 92.732 and those levels. Now we'll fix its errors. When the price gets there, that's when God gets involved with the position here. You see? What if it wants to go down? Now, this is a short position that was opened, but if it was not open, what then? I tried. There was a breakout from this 605, so I opened a position. What difference did it make? The point is, right now, we've reached a downtrend here. On Saturday, we go for a range. If it goes down, because I have the trend behind me. In a low wave, opening this position is easier. It makes more sense, and more volume comes in for it in the market. Here, people have to fight against the current. Here, they just loosen out. Here, they just loosen out. That's why for a short position, if this 8905 wants to break, I'll keep an eye on it. Why? For example, you didn't say for it to come here. Is it going to fake out? Well, that's obvious. But there's just one thing for every other strategy. Besides the breakout, we need volume, which we don't have. It's dead, really. This volume is meaningless. There's really no volume at all. When there's no volume, I can't tell you right now to let it come. If it makes a lower low here and you want to take a setup on this candle, we don't have any volume. If it wants to build momentum here and you want to see it with its momentum, it's not there. Honestly, the candle here, we want to open a line. If we open it, when you come and open it yourself, let it come down here. If this one opens this level, and if it had a strong increase, if the candle setup comes and everything was okay, after that, in this exact situation, I won't open this. For now, unless, like I told you before, it comes back from here again. In that case, don't forget, I asked you to say that you're lazy, not even that we're lazy right now. Write down the reason why we're lazy. Write it down. Okay, that's it for our Bitcoin, guys. Ask for Bitcoin's confirmation? Nothing yet. For now, on the daily chart, we don't have a bullish trend to even think about confirming anything. Oh, on the daily, we turned bullish. The price reached 824 and bounced back up again. Here it formed a ceiling, here a double bottom, and now it's considering something for confirmation. This is still important at the higher level, and at this higher level, it's become even more important. 93, 825 broke. Here, it gives us a sharp move up to 100 or 106. Keep that in mind. Pay attention to this level, okay? All right, in total, June 3rd, we lost for the short position at 3.17 and for the long position as well. In the middle here, that's the same low of the wave cycle. You can see it. If you want to follow up here, let's take a look at the dominance of BTC in this situation. Right now, it's still in the same range. Now it's forming 2 or 3 green candles. This BTC dominance is forming 2 or 3 red candles, but it's not strong enough for me to tell you, yeah, go ahead, jump in, buy altcoins here, or take a position. It's just not convincing enough for me to say that to you. Check the BTC pair on the 15-minute or 1-hour chart, bro. Go take a quick look. There might be an altcoin out there. One that's more bullish against the BTC pair. You might be able to take a long position on that, maybe get a reaction or confirmation from it. Total 3 is at 850,898. Why not here though? Why not draw its levels? Because this isn't resistance. This is nothing right now. The only important resistances are this level and this level. For example, this could be the local top. It could be. So even before reaching this top, if it comes and forms a top and bottom for us, you see it's already done that in this time frame. And actually, we open the position before reaching this point. We open the position before it gets there. Look, this is the box. This box we have here, with a top at 898 and a bottom at 824. We have it everywhere. We have it on total as well, with a top at 3.17 and a bottom at 2.83. On total 2, we also have a top at 1.3, well, 1.16 is really low, but 1.22 or 1.16. This box we have here, we have this box everywhere, guys. Look, on Bitcoin, the top is 93 and the bottom is 89 or 84. This range, whichever way it breaks, gives us a move. It doesn't matter which way it breaks. If it breaks up, we get a sharp move. If it breaks down, we usually get a sharp move too. It really doesn't matter what the number is, whether it's 86 or say 63, just ignore the number for a minute because it can affect your mindset. Now, when this box is about to break, if you're ready, if you're paying attention to the market, you can open a position. The next wave, whichever direction it goes, as long as you catch its cycle, you're good. But if you can't open that first position, the rest is up to luck, or whether your entry strategy is good, or whether you behave correctly. For example, here, I'm guessing this is a spot where you need to be present, where you need to open your sails, so to speak, and really get in. These are the times when we always need to be the most attentive, have the highest VR, and in these other times, have the lowest VR. And it's always the opposite, that's the thing. For example, here, we have the lowest volume, and those of us who were here during this low volume, we've worked hard. We've opened positions here, for example. And then here, the volume peaks, and I have to look for a position. Personally, at this point, I might take some profit. Let's see if it's ranging. A strong range, which could be a good spot to catch a position. Look, I managed to help a number of newcomers. Let's say, for example, 9,000 people. I wish I could make room for 30,000 people in the next wave, but just in the next wave. You guys also need to help me out. Write in the comments for them, give a little explanation to them about why we're not following up right now. Because back when you were frustrated and fed up, we were the ones following up. You gave USD. Just because the chart is a mess doesn't mean it's a reason. Because the chart is a mess, you get frustrated. That's it. Sometimes life itself is really a mess too. Do you just give up and walk away? This is the same neutral zone level that's down there. It's also on Bitcoin. It's right there. There's a chance it'll get hit at 614, and at 620, there's a chance a whale will push through. Ah, I told you for a long position, this spot is really tricky and risky. I won't open a position here. I'll open it over there. If it comes and gets rejected here and breaks through, then I'll open a position. The probability that it comes back here is based on these four pieces we have here. We keep hitting it over and over. Yeah, it's there. It's there, meaning we can't just ignore it. I wasn't into it, but if you want, go ahead and open the position. If you want, open it. That's the reality. Today is my day for reading and self-reflection and stuff. Like I'm just gonna chill somewhere else with peace of mind. Now, if this wants to make a move, let's go to the market. ETH, BTC. You gave the address, nothing happened, just a bunch of green candles. Who did that? The profit from the change it gave, and then we sit and trade the market's exceptions. Like, for example, the whole market is bullish and the address is also moving. For example, it prints green candles like this, but then we only go for the outliers. The whole market is bearish, but the address is moving. It moves upward like this. So we check to see which one is the exception. Does it make this bullish move here? Let's go. We take a long position on that one. We go and take a long position on that one. So what about ETH and BTC? Is our Panther from Zandigar? Seriously, at the speed like this? Are they really dumping it? They're really dumping the whole thing down. Well, as for BTC pairs, it's totally bearish. Whatever the range is, it's weaker than BTC. In the recent drop, it lagged behind BTC, and for now, it's still behind in profit. Now, whether it wants to bounce here or not, this chart isn't telling us that. This chart isn't giving us that signal. Let's just say a little bit. Right now, you can go and short the BTC pair. You can set it up, but the stop is tight and you'll get kicked out quickly. However, you can indeed make a very good and substantial profit even within that relatively small trading box, in that rather confined range, especially if you strategically decide to take a short position there. Specifically, the precise level of 3056 is exactly where I would personally consider opening my initial short position. If it breaks this, as you can see, it can go a little higher, up to 3062 for the short position. Open it, let's do it. Let's cheat a little here. Let's see if it wants to God. Let's see if it has something to give us time. Then we'll enter. Wait a 9,500, 9,600. How little volume do we have? We really don't have volume. 9,500 to 9,600. I'm still watching to see what it does with these. If it comes to 9,600 and shows a reaction, if it comes and hits, it cleared out the range and came down. If it bounces back up again, I have to open a position. If it just goes or hits the range and comes down again, that's a repeat. That's that. Let's move on. Let's get to today's routine. All right. First, before Mohammed Reza's analysis, which comes at 4 or 5 o'clock, set aside some time for yourself to pick out a few altcoins. Analyze them yourself. This habit of analyzing things yourself is something you need to develop. The first task in today's routine is this. The second task is to go watch the cycle video. Today, I have a bit more free time, so I can spend some time answering your comments. Ask any questions you have about the cycle video in the comments under that video. If you haven't done it yet, I'm asking you again. Go ahead and do it. Look back over the past month or month and a half. Whether it's on Bitcoin or Ethereum, either one. Pick a coin, preferably one with high volume. Go check where your strategy would have signaled an entry and ask yourself why you didn't take it. Go do this. Look, it doesn't matter if you can see the right side of the chart. It doesn't matter if you know the future. It just makes it easier to say, this is where that would have happened. Let's get the picture a bit clearer for ourselves. Build up a little courage. Let's gain a bit of confidence in the space and what's happening. Just these three. Just these three are enough. Let's not make it too complicated so we can actually do all three. Tomorrow, I'll bring you something, and the day after, I'll teach you my top 10. I'll post it. I'm going on a trip. I'm leaving on Wednesday, so I won't be around until then. I don't know when I'll be back, so I can't say for sure. Well, whenever I feel like it over there. If I feel the market needs it, or if there's a change, or if you need to get in or out of the market, I'll post a lesson. Otherwise, I won't post any updates. If I wake up one morning, or for example, I see that it's a certain time, I'll post it then too. And then, well, okay, get up, go have some coffee, and then record the analysis. That's how it goes. All right, so if you feel like it, just sleep in. I want to live life a little more like this. I'm a bit tired, but Mohammed posts analysis for you every day, including Bitcoin now. He analyzes for you, and he also analyzes altcoins for you on the Tracy Pro second channel. We make your day and night.